Friends, take a moment to look at your kitchen. It is the heart of your home, the source of nourishment, energy, and life. But did you know that within this familiar space, a dangerous habit is playing out daily, quietly undermining your health? We're talking about the convenience of leftovers, specifically, the common practice of reheating certain foods not just once, but multiple times. This habit, driven by frugality or speed, is fundamentally changing the molecular structure of what you eat, transforming healthy ingredients into compounds that can be highly detrimental, even toxic, to your body. Do you know that reheating certain foods repeatedly can make them severely damaging to your health? Yes, friends, today we will talk about 8 specific, common foods that you consume daily. You might not know how costly repeatedly reheating them can be, and how many serious health problems it can cause you. In today's extensive Health Hustle Masterclass, I am going to provide you with a scientific deep dive into these 8 items. Everything I tell you today is not based on kitchen myths. It is grounded in scientific research, chemical analysis, and principles of food safety. Hi everyone, my name is Nina, and for the last 15 years, I've been focused on helping you not just eat well, but eat safely and intelligently. It's time to stop the cycle of accidental poisoning and protect your family. If you are ready to revolutionize your meal prep and storage habits, hit the like button, subscribe to Health Hustle, and let's dive deep into the chemical transformations happening on your plate. Chapter 1. The Chemical Crisis. Why Reheating Fails. Before we examine the 8 foods, we must first understand the fundamental scientific reasons why reheating can be hazardous. The problem falls into 3 major categories: protein denaturation and degradation. Heat is energy. Repeated application of heat breaks the complex, 3-dimensional structures of proteins. When proteins are fully denatured, they become indigestible, causing extreme strain on the digestive system and, in some cases, forming toxic byproducts. Chemical conversion. Certain natural, healthy compounds, like nitrates in vegetables, are unstable under repeated high heat exposure. This instability leads to a chemical conversion into harmful compounds, like carcinogens. Bacterial proliferation. The danger zone. The single biggest risk is failing to cool and store food properly between servings. Bacteria multiply exponentially between the temperature danger zone, which is 40 to 140 Fahrenheit, or 4 to 60 Celsius. Reheating often only warms the food, failing to kill resilient bacterial spores or the heat-stable toxins they have already produced. Chapter 2. The Nitrate Threat, Leafy Greens, and the Carcinogenic Chain. 1. Leafy greens, spinach, celery, beets. Have you ever wondered what happens when you repeatedly reheat leafy greens like spinach? This seemingly healthy habit involves a dangerous chemical chain reaction, the nitrate to nitrosamine conversion. Spinach, like many root and leafy vegetables, is naturally rich in nitrates. Nitrates are beneficial for our body, supporting circulation, but only as long as they are in their natural form. When we reheat these vegetables, especially multiple times, the story changes slightly, initiating a process of bacterial and thermal reduction. Nitrate to nitrite. When cooked leafy greens are left to cool slowly or are reheated multiple times, naturally occurring bacteria in the food, combined with the heat, convert the relatively benign nitrates into nitrites. The hemoglobin crisis. Methemoglobinemia. Nitrites are dangerous, especially for infants and the elderly. When consumed, nitrites react with hemoglobin in the blood, reducing its ability to carry oxygen. This condition, known as methemoglobinemia, can lead to potentially fatal lack of oxygen. Nitrite to nitrosamine. The carcinogen. The nitrites then react with amines, compounds derived from proteins, present in the food to form nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are recognized as potent carcinogenic compounds linked to an increased risk of various cancers, particularly gastric cancer. The Health Hustle Solution. My advice is that if you eat leafy greens, always consume them freshly prepared. If you have leftovers, cool them rapidly, within 2 hours, and store them in the fridge. You can reheat and eat them once, but you absolutely should not reheat them multiple times. You must avoid this chemical cascade at all costs. Chapter 3. The Bacterial Time Bomb. Rice and potatoes. 2. Rice. Rice is a very important part of our daily diet, yet it is one of the most common causes of food poisoning globally due to a spore-forming bacterium called Bacillus cereus. The Bacillus cereus life cycle, rice syndrome. The risk associated with reheating rice isn't actually the reheating process itself, but the improper cooling and storage beforehand. The spore factor. Bacillus cereus spores are highly resilient and can survive the initial cooking process. When the cooked rice is left at room temperature, the surviving spores germinate, transforming into active vegetative bacteria. Toxin production. Once the bacteria are active, they multiply rapidly and produce 2 types of toxins: a diarrheal toxin and emetic vomiting toxin, which are both heat-stable. Reheating failure. Reheating the rice, even to high temperatures, might kill the active bacteria, but it will not destroy the toxins they have already produced. Consuming the reheated rice means consuming concentrated toxins, which causes immediate and acute food poisoning, often referred to as the rice syndrome. The health hustle solution. The solution is very simple. If you want to use the rice again, you must cool it down and immediately put in the fridge within 1 hour so that the bacteria cannot grow and produce toxins. Cook fresh rice in smaller quantities so that there are no leftovers, and try to reheat the rice only once, ensuring it is piping hot, above 165 Fahrenheit, 74 Celsius. 3. Potatoes. After rice comes the potato. The potato is a common staple, but when it comes to leftovers, it harbors a dangerous potential for a much more severe type of food poisoning, botulism. The Clostridium botulinum risk. Botulism is caused by the toxin produced by the bacteria Clostridium botulinum. This risk is particularly high when cooking potatoes in foil or wrapping them tightly. Anaerobic environment. Clostridium botulinum is an anaerobic bacterium, meaning it thrives and produces its neurotoxin in environments lacking oxygen. Cooking a potato wrapped tightly in aluminum foil and then leaving it to cool slowly creates the perfect low oxygen, high moisture environment for the spores, which survive cooking, to germinate. The neurotoxin. The toxin produced by C. Botulinum is an extremely potent neurotoxin that attacks the nervous system, causing severe paralysis and often requiring hospitalization. Reheating does not always guarantee the destruction of the toxin, though the toxin itself is somewhat heat sensitive. The risk is that the initial toxin level is so high. The health hustle solution. To prevent this, never store foil-wrapped potatoes at room temperature. If you must store them, unwrap them immediately, cool them rapidly, and refrigerate them. Like rice, if reheating, ensure the temperature reaches an internal minimum of 165 Fahrenheit, 74 Celsius. Chapter 4. Protein degradation, chicken, eggs, and mushrooms. For chicken and other poultry, chicken is a high-protein, low-fat food. The danger in reheating poultry lies primarily in the complex structure of its protein chains and the risk of poor reheating technique combined with pre-existing bacterial growth. Protein structure and indigestion. Denaturation versus degradation. When we cook chicken for the first time, its proteins are denatured, unfolded, into a specific structure, making them digestible. But when it is repeatedly reheated, 2, 3, or 4 times, to high temperatures, the proteins can undergo further severe degradation and oxidation. Digestive strain. This creates new chemical crosslinks and structures that the body's digestive enzymes struggle to break down. The protein becomes rubbery, tough, and indigestible. This causes extreme strain on the liver and kidneys and leads to symptoms like stomach upset, cramps, bloating, and excessive gas. In severe cases of improper handling and degradation, this can lead to severe food poisoning. The health hustle solution. Always ensure chicken leftovers are refrigerated immediately and reheat them only once. When reheating chicken, use slow, moist heat, like in a microwave with a splash of water or in an oven covered with foil, to maintain moisture and minimize further protein damage. 5. Eggs. Just like chicken, eggs are a dense source of protein, albumin, and globulins. Reheating eggs poses risks related to protein structure breakdown and the release of volatile sulfur compounds, protein denaturation, and sulfur release. Heat sensitivity. Egg proteins are highly sensitive to heat. Repeated reheating further tightens the protein bonds, making them tough and difficult for the body to metabolize. This causes significant digestive discomfort and reduces the bioavailability of the protein. Hydrogen sulfide. Eggs contain sulfur. When eggs are cooked or reheated at high temperatures, the heat causes amino acids containing sulfur, like cysteine, to break down, releasing hydrogen sulfide gas. This is responsible for the strong, sometimes greenish color and the distinctive rotten egg smell associated with reheated eggs. While not overtly toxic in small amounts, this process indicates structural degradation that stresses the digestive system and contributes to food poisoning risk if bacteria were present. The health hustle solution. It is best to consume eggs freshly prepared. If storing leftovers like cooked scrambled eggs or omelets, refrigerate quickly and reheat very gently, preferably in a double boiler or low-power microwave setting, for a single, brief warming. 6. Mushrooms. Mushrooms are neither vegetable nor meat. They are fungi, and their cellular and protein structure is incredibly delicate, making them highly sensitive to reheating, enzyme, and protein degradation. Delicate nature. Mushrooms consist mainly of water, with their dry mass composed of highly labile proteins and enzymes. When we cook mushrooms, the heat begins the process of degradation, rapid oxidation. When reheated, especially after being left at room temperature, the delicate proteins and enzymes present in mushrooms degrade rapidly. This degradation is often oxidative, reacting with oxygen, and produces compounds that are toxic to the digestive tract. Digestive issues. Scientific studies have indicated that the rapid degradation of mushroom proteins due to reheating causes immediate and pronounced digestive problems, including nausea, severe stomach cramps, and sometimes vomiting. The health hustle solution. Due to their highly delicate nature, you must only cook the quantity of mushrooms you intend to eat immediately. If you must store leftovers, they must be refrigerated rapidly and consumed cold, added to salad, for example, or reheated very briefly and gently, only once. Chapter 5. Molecular alterations, cooking oils and tannins. 7. Cooking oils, the silent arterial killer. The 7th item, cooking oils, is a ubiquitous danger, especially for frying. The risk here is purely chemical, the creation of dangerous compounds that are invisible, yet highly toxic to the cardiovascular system, thermal degradation, and the birth of toxins. When we repeatedly heat the same oil for frying, a process called thermal cycling, severe chemical changes occur, fundamentally altering the oil's molecular structure. Oxidation. At high temperatures, oxygen from the air reacts with the unsaturated fatty acids in the oil, leading to oxidation and the formation of unstable hydroperoxides. Polymerization. The unstable molecules start linking together, creating large, sticky, toxic molecules called polymers and dimers that stress the liver and block nutrient absorption. Aldehyde and acrolein formation. The most dangerous change is the formation of toxic breakdown products, primarily highly reactive compounds like aldehydes, e.g., malondialdehyde, for HNE, and acrolein. These compounds are powerful free radicals that cause oxidative damage throughout the body, particularly in the arterial linings. The trans fat crisis. The heating process also increases the level of trans fats in the oil. Trans fats are the most dangerous and worst types of fats. During thermal cycling, cis fatty acids are converted into trans fatty acids. These trans fats stick to the arteries, contributing significantly to plaque buildup and the formation of blockages. Imagine you heated oil to make samosas or pakoras and decided to reuse the leftover oil for frying again. But this small decision, especially when repeated daily, dramatically increases the burden of trans fats and toxic aldehydes on the heart health of you and your family members, putting them at serious risk of cardiovascular disease. The health hustle solution. Never reuse cooking oil more than once, and never reuse it for high heat frying. Opt for oils with higher heat stability, like refined avocado or ghee, for high heat, and use oils high in monounsaturated fats, like olive oil, only once for low to moderate cooking. 8. Tea, chai, and tannin overload. Tea is a very favorite drink in our country, friends. Morning or evening, a cup of tea is desired by all of us, but the pleasure of tea is in its freshness, tannin concentration, and oxidation. Chemical change. When we repeatedly reheat or leave tea simmering for long periods, the concentration of tannins present in the tea leaves begins to increase dramatically. Tannins are polyphenolic compounds that give tea its astringency, the dry, puckering feeling. Digestive discomfort. Over-extracted and oxidized tannins are harsh. When consumed, they can lead to digestive problems like gas, acidity, stomach irritation, and GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. The taste also becomes noticeably bitter and metallic. Nutrient reduction. The heat also breaks down beneficial compounds like vitamin C and certain antioxidants in the tea. The health hustle solution. The best tea is freshly prepared, hot tea. Reheating tea concentrates these negative compounds and should be avoided entirely. Make only as much as you need and enjoy it fresh. Chapter 6. Finalizing the health hustle safety protocol. 6.1. The 3 golden rules of leftovers. Therefore, next time when you cook food or reheat it, pay special attention to these 8 things. To ensure safety, follow these 3 golden rules. Rapid cooling. The 1-hour rule: food must be cooled and placed in the refrigerator, below 40 Fahrenheit or 4 Celsius, within 1 hour of cooking to prevent the germination and growth of bacteria, like B. cereus and C. botulinum. Divide large portions into shallow containers to speed up cooling. Single reheat only. Never reheat any of the listed foods, especially protein and starchy foods, more than once. If leftovers remain, discard them. Piping hot reheat. When you do reheat, ensure the food reaches a minimum internal temperature of 165 Fahrenheit, 74 Celsius, to kill active bacteria, though remember this does not destroy all toxins. This awareness is a crucial part of the health hustle philosophy. By understanding the science behind the molecular and bacterial changes, you are not just managing your food, you are mastering your health and proactively protecting your family from unnecessary risks. I, Nina, will meet you again in a new video. Until then, take very good care of yourself, keep laughing, keep smiling, keep learning something new every day, so that you can keep up with the health hustle